Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Fire series. In the last episode we cleared out a handful of houses over here. We found some body drops and we picked up an RV. So what I think I want to work for right now is the recharging station. I think would be beneficial because if we can get a recharging station we can recharge our batteries, which probably are on this pile. They might be considered tools. Okay, so we have a lot of batteries, including a few medium batteries, which are the ones we need for the welder. So if I could put together a recharging station, that would open me up to using tools more than I have been. I don't know if we have the skills for the recharging station. We do. It's weird that it has electronics as both primary and other skill. We need power converters and processor boards. We already cleared out the arcade machines over here, so we can actually remove this note. We've already cleared those out. There were other ones down here, which we could go down there. It is daylight. Why don't we... Does Toolbox have bolt turning? Yeah. So we're just going to head down there, I think, and take apart some arcade machines. Stop releasing the... we should maybe eat something as well. It's been several hours. Give me, first of all, sort, because we got a lot of fruit, if I remember right. Perishable things. Go ahead and eat. We have lettuce, sausage. I guess the fruit lasts longer, so it's not at the top. Oh, hot dogs go bad in 2 days. So yeah, we make hot dogs. Never mind. I was going to not make hot dogs because, no one wants to eat a bunch of hot dogs every day. But we're going to go ahead and drop the knitting needles, which we will use to start a fire. Matchbook. We'll make hot dogs. Cooked hot dog. These are the ones we failed before because we lost our bread component. I'd rather just do the campfire hot dogs. I know they're less filling, but we don't have enough bread to really let ourselves waste a bunch of it by failing to craft. Really irritated by that craft, as we discussed. Grab. Oh, last episode we talked about EverQuest. Also the Spice Girls, very briefly, if I remember right. Yeah, we're going to head down here to the arcade machines. And, the other game that I talked about that I come back to pretty much every few months for most of my life is Magic the Gathering. I really love Magic the Gathering. I think it's the most dynamic card game ever created. I really like card games in general. I've played, over the course of my life, probably like 2,000 hours of Magic the Gathering over the course of the last 20 years or so. It's something I come back to so back in the day in the 90s they made this game called Chandelar, which is like, I don't think that's its name, that's part of its name, but that's what everyone knows it as, is Chandelar. It was a PC game that it had, basically you were a wizard in the world and the world is like being attacked by bad wizards. So you would travel all over the world you would buy new cards at settlements, you would win new cards by beating enemies, you would find special cards only in certain dungeons, that kind of thing. A third wrench, huh? Take a third wrench. And it was really cool. You get like a starter deck and then you build it yourself after that. You would come across monsters in the game, and each monster had a deck themed around whatever it was. So like a centaur had a certain amount of health. Like normally when you play Magic against another person, you both start with 20 health. But in this game, weak creatures might only start with like 6 health. So you had a really easy time fighting them. And I really liked that they all had their own theme decks and that kind of stuff. It was really neat. And that game came out when I was a kid, and I really, really liked it. You get a hold of yourself. Ah ha ha ha. Because I tried to grab myself by accident. No, don't deconstruct that yet. Deconstruct this first. Really like that game. Probably played like 500 hours of that game over the course of my life. Come back to it every now and then because it has the old cards and it's kind of cool. and whatever. It's really hard to get running on modern machines, which is the only reason I haven't really played it recently. But it's a solid game, and it has the old cards, which is really cool. And then, you know, they've put out multiple single-player games over the years, but they wouldn't let you build your own deck, which is, like, really annoying. And they had Magic Online, but it was so ugly and kind of hard to use. But I played that when I was younger as well, but I didn't really have money. So I was always, like, really janky decks, and you would play these people who were super good, and it, like, would just be, like, infuriating because you would have this little, like, I like zombies, so I build a zombie deck. And then you end up playing against a guy who gets an infinite combo on turn 6 and he just gets infinite turns. And it's like, well, I don't want to play this game ever again. And so you don't. And then, you know, you take a break and you come back and you're like, Magic was amazing. And then you forget how, like, just meta all the decks are. Like, nobody plays fun decks. Everybody plays, I want to win every single game kind of decks. And it's like, it sucks the fun out of it for me. But about a couple years ago, Magic Arena came out. Magic Arena is the current iteration of Magic Online games. And I was into it. You know, I played it probably 200 hours over the last, you know, year or so. The problem is, so I don't want to go super into detail because if you're not a Magic nerd, you're not going to care about it and you're not going to want to hear about it. But basically, Magic is broken. I'm going to give you a brief overview. Magic is broken up into 5 colors and then a colorless energy. Each color has its own thing. Like white is about protection. They have a lot of healing creatures. Order, they have a lot of knights and things like that. You know, classic chivalry type stuff. Then like red is fire and rage and direct damage, that kind of thing. Very interesting. You know, each color is dynamic. It has different things going for it. Green has all the cool big creatures, that kind of stuff. And so, like, you know, it's fun. There are lots of different colors that do lots of different things. I'm a black-red player, primarily. Sometimes I play black-white, but those are the colors that I like the most. Problem is, playing Magic Arena, I would say literally 99%, and that sounds like an exaggeration, and it's not. I would say that out of, like, every 50 games, 48 or 49 of them were against blue players. And every single set, they release blue cards, and they overpower blue. So basically, one of the 5 colors is way stronger than the others. And I say that, for example, it's a card game. So any card that lets you draw additional cards, everyone gets 1 card per turn. Any card that lets you draw additional cards is, like, inherently very powerful because you're getting more card draw than your opponent. So very, very powerful ability, pretty much only given to blue. So blue gets a lot of card draw. Well, okay, that's a little overpowering, you know, but that's tolerable. You know, you can kind of work around that and get over that. Did I not get processor boards, like, literally just now? What electronics was I picking up? They should still be in my inventory. Oh. That's not even the right material. No, I don't want power. I want processor boards. You can't make them. Processor boards. Let's go back down there. Power converters. I thought I was picking up processor boards. Drop all this crap. Use advanced inventory. This is silly. Power converters. Drop the RAM. What else? Circuit boards. Get out of here. Get out of here. Electronic scrap, get out of here. Plastic chunks we don't need either. So I need processor boards. Okay, we're going to go look again. Maybe the terminal gave it and I just missed it or something. Not really sure where I would get them. We could try taking apart the TVs as well. Processor board wouldn't be in a television. Would it? I don't think it would. We're going to come have a look down here. See what we got. Looking for processor boards. Circuit boards. RAM. Television. Let's take apart the TV. Television. It does have a processor board. Okay. Anyway, so blue gets a lot of card draw. Well, blue also gets counter spells, which means that, like, whenever you play a spell, for very cheap. Like, let's say you play a 5 mana spell. You save up for 5 turns. You get the right creature cards. You get the right mana. You finally get to play your big old creature bad boy that gets to do a lot of things. Your opponent, for like way cheaper than you're spending on the spell, sometimes for 1 mana, gets to say, you know what? Nah, you don't get to play that card. And you're like, oh, well, that's not fun. So the terminals do have processor boards. Can we drag the terminals? I don't think we can. So we would need to get light in here to disassemble the other one. What we can do is check some of the nearby shops for more terminals to disassemble. Really, no register in the liquor store, or in the. Why are there no terminals in these? Okay, didn't we see a huge bank of terminals somewhere? That was at the school. We don't want to go to the school. How do I do this? What are you about? Street lamp. Can I just break you? Very easily, in fact. Amp circuit. Yeah, breaking it probably wasn't the smartest thing. I don't know if we could have disassembled it or not. What do you got back here? Oh, hello, enemies. So blue gets a lot of card draw and blue gets a lot of counter spells. And literally, I would say like 48 or 49 decks out of 50 are blue on Magic Arena. As of like a year ago. I can't speak to now. But basically, I played Magic Arena, and I would sit down, and I'm like, all right, well, I want to play Magic Arena. And then I would go on. You can't deconstruct them. That's a bummer. No terminals back here. I don't know where we would get other process. I guess we take apart the other pinball machine for the TV. Take that apart. We need a copper wire, by the way. 1 copper wire. Wow. And like I would sit down to play, and every single game I would play was against these blue decks. And it's like, you spend all this time. You sit down and you say, I want to play Magic. But then you get into a match where your opponent, like, there were decks that literally were all counter spells and board wipes. So it's like, there were decks where nothing would happen. They only had 4 cards in their whole deck that did anything. Everything you would play, they would just counter. And because they get so much card draw, they get counters every turn, basically. And it was like, I'm not even playing. Like, at this point, you're playing cards. But I'm just sitting here. Everything I try to play gets countered. Nothing touches the board. Why am I... This is not fun. You know, this is not a game where I'm enjoying myself. This is not a game where I'm even playing. You're just playing and I'm watching you play. That's like super, super unpleasant. And I would look around and I would listen to the podcasts like about Magic the Gathering because I was really into it. And all the podcasts were saying, man, it's so like... balanced right now. All the colors are so relevant right now. It's so cool that we're finally playing a game where like every color is a reasonable thing to play and everyone's playing all these different decks. And I was like, no, man. Every game I play is against the same deck. How is this balanced? How is this anything? And that happens in every set. They print counter spells for way too cheap. They've created a game, which is, you know, Magic Gathering, but they've set it up so that one of the colors is objectively better than the others, where one of the colors literally gets to constantly give their opponent this feels bad moment. Why would I play this game if that's what is that's not fun? I don't want to play anymore. So like lately I've really been wanting to go back to Magic, but every time I think about it I get so angry because like I want to play, but whenever I go to play, I'm just shut down repeatedly. Nobody wants to have fun. It's all about let's take all the cards we can get that are counters, throw them in a deck together, and then put 4 Teferis. Like if you're a Magic player, you know Teferi. They printed an overpowered Teferi card and it ruined a lot of my games. It's like I don't want to play a game where I'm just constantly angry. So why would I pick up Magic again? And it's a real shame because I think Magic is like the best card game in the world. I prefer games where I play against computer opponents. So I really liked the Duels of the Planeswalkers, except they wouldn't let you make your own decks. I really liked Chandelar because it was against AI opponents. That's my kind of game. Magic Arena is PvP, and too many people, instead of playing for fun or making their own decks, they go online, find what is the most potent deck around right now, and just plug all the cards in, and that's like their whole thing. And it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to play that. So I'm torn. I've been trying to play Slay the Spire. I recorded 4 episodes of Slay the Spire this week. They're very long. They're each an hour long because that game takes forever. But I think it's really scratching that itch for me, where instead of playing online and getting miserable because everybody's playing the same deck, I'm playing against AI opponents with my own constructed deck, which is exactly what I want. So I really, if you have not checked out Slay the Spire, I think it's super awesome. Like, I was really surprised. I thought like I'd be a little into it and it would be okay, but like on our second run we got a win and it felt real good to beat the game. Took us 3 hours to finish that run, but it was a good time. I love card games, man. Even like bad card games. I played Yu-Gi-Oh a lot on the Game Boy, and also, do we need to apply? We really ought to apply bandages pretty much all the time. Do we have more makeshift boiled? No? Do we have regular makeshift? We do. So why don't we go ahead and boil some makeshift bandages really quick, just to get that little bit of extra HP regen, and that little bit of experience. Nope. Activate the matchbook, and we'll boil. I don't know if we have any. Yeah, we're out of dirty water, so we're going to need more dirty water. We should get a big tank and just fill that with water. Go ahead and boil. We'll make 2, and then we'll apply them from the chair. Yeah, I liked Yu-Gi-Oh. The card games on the Game Boy I liked, because again, it was AI opponents. It wasn't like my perfect game for a card game is this. You get some starter decks for free. You play AI opponents, and you unlock a currency. Then you spend your currency on buying packs, which give you 10 or 15 cards. You then take those packs and build your own decks, and you continue playing increasingly difficult AI opponents. You get more currency, you buy more decks, more cards, etc., etc. That's my perfect card game. That's exactly what the Yu-Gi-Oh games were on Game Boy, and probably still are. I don't know if they still make those games or not. That's what Pokemon trading card game was. You won, and when you won an AI opponent, they gave you packs, so you didn't have the currency aspect, which I didn't like. I would have preferred you being able to buy which packs are which. Struggle to awareness. Being awake seems somewhat harder to reach today, so our health is flagging. Not 100% why. We did eat some cracklins. We're normal weight. Is it a vitamin deficiency? We probably haven't been getting enough vitamins. I don't think hot dogs are unhealthy for you, though, in the game. So I'm a little surprised, because that's been our main source of food. So why don't we try eating a little bit better? First, we'll drop our bandages. We can also drop the wrench. We don't need the wrench. Nope, that's not a wrench. This is a wrench. Let's grab multivitamins. Bam. Probably don't need 160 of them. Let's take... Yeah, we don't want them in that list when we're trying to eat. So let's go ahead and mash the favorite button there. Go ahead and take a multivitamin. Actually, let's look at them. You have to take 2, right, to get 100%. 25 to 50%. Yeah, I think eating 2 is a little bit more appropriate. Okay, it'd be nice to eat some fruits and veggies, but I don't think we have a lot of that. Let's go ahead and start ourselves a fire. We already had wood in a fire, but that's okay. Start us a fire. Let's look at our food recipes. Spaghetti bolognese. Some good vitamins in it. Would require canned food. We did kill a roach yesterday. We could go butcher for some mutant meat. Actually, if our health is bad, we really don't want to be eating that kind of garbage. Let's make some onion rings. We'll make 2 onion rings. Hopefully we don't fail. Although with my luck, we will fail. Great. Let's eat some onion rings. Really love onion rings in real life. So that's something with some vitamins in it. Let's go ahead and eat. Oh, how many charges? 2 charges. Man, that's a very low. Man, broth is not very satisfying. Go ahead and drink some broth. Why not? It'll quench our thirst a little bit. I think broth has some positive health impact. Then let's drink, I don't know, something. Let's drink water. And what we're going to do today is get ourselves a big tank. We're going to fill it with water. We're going to harvest some pine boughs, I think. Sorry, my chair is creaky. I just switched back to an office chair, which is like super duper creepy. Creaky, not creepy. It's just a chair. I'm not afraid of chairs. Why didn't we get... Oh, we did. It goes right in your inventory now. I forgot. So let's gather some more pine boughs. That's grass. Yes, pick the pine tree, actually. We still didn't drop anything, so I think our inventory is probably pretty full. Let's come back and drop that stuff. On the drink pile is where the pine boughs will go. Pine cones I'll just drop up. Oh, the stupid drop bug. So let's go ahead and drop the pine boughs manually. 21. No, not 210, just 21. Oh, what happened? Move 19? Oh, it still only does 2 at a time. I thought, okay, interesting. I thought advanced inventory completely circumvented that, but I guess that's not true. Yeah, let's just, that's fine. Can't work in the dark, so we can't actually grab a tank at the moment. We did pick up a 2-liter tank previously. It's really not very much, though. 2 liters is not very much. Let's look at... I don't know how I would go to look at these manually. We have gallon jugs. What's the biggest canister? Probably a gallon jug is probably the biggest thing we really have access to. That's a real bummer. We're going to hold off, I think, until daylight, and we'll get ourselves a 60-liter tank off of a vehicle. So for the moment, let's just read something. What do we want to read? Well, let's look at our skills. Cooking is 3. I wouldn't mind raising cooking a little bit. Tailoring we can read if we really feel like it, but we don't need to. Mechanics is a priority, but I don't think we have another mechanics book. Survival we've increased over the last couple of days. Yeah, I don't think cooking is really a priority, so raise fab a little bit more. I would like to raise survival a little further. Why don't we raise survival? Yeah, so that's like my perfect kind of card game, is what I described. The problem is nobody makes that kind of game. Like, I really like mindless things like that, where you just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over, but gradually getting more powerful. It's one of the reasons I really like casual, like, clicker games, which is really a sad thing to say out loud, but it is what it is. How are we doing on wood, by the way? I haven't checked in a while. Not amazing, but not bad. Okay, let's go out here, see if we can find ourselves a tank. It's kind of weird, I was hearing crickets while inside the building. It may be that because we have the doors broken, this no longer qualifies as indoors. So that may be a thing that's happening. I'm not super concerned about the recharging station. You leak. Yeah, it's not going to work for me. Let's check some of the other nearby vehicles for a proper tank. Tank, 60 liters with gas in it. Go ahead and we can pull the tank off without it emptying. So let's find the tank here. Where's your tank? I don't see. There we go. On the side. Okay. Take off the tank. Small. Oh, the fish are jumping around. Oh boy, hot dog. Okay, grab the tank. Carry it. We're going to unload that directly into our new vehicle. Unload. tank, fill nearby RV. Great. I do think there's a water tile in this forest, so we don't actually have to go to the pond. Yes, I was going to say I thought I saw a water tile. Nobody makes games like that. Nowadays it's all, oh, battle royales and oh, everybody's into PvP. And people like me who prefer PvE in almost every situation, we're getting left behind a little bit. And so it's really nice that Slay the Spire is like purely PvE. And then if you want to get competitive, it's based on score and like they have daily runs and stuff. But like, I prefer PvE games. I really do prefer, because real people are terrible. And I don't really want to deal with with regular people. Let's make pine needle tea. We cannot make pine needle tea. Oh, our fire went out. Okay, that's fine. We're going to throw a plank in the old oven here. Really ought to clear out that ash at some point. Matchbook. Show me the gallon jugs. Clean water. Yeah, let's drink the final little bit out of this gallon jug. And then then the gallon jug will now be used for pine needle tea. Pine needle tea takes 10 minutes. Very little bit of time saving from doing this. Let's make the entire batch. 15 pine boughs. So it takes a full pine bough. Never had pine needle tea in real life. I know it's a thing, and I know that it's very easy to make. And in fact, we had we had pine trees in our yard for a very long time. But, we had 3 empty jugs? I did not even realize. Memorized the recipe for pine needle tea. Man, every time I bend and if you remember from the last episode, I'm having some back pain. Every time I feel the back pain, my voice cracks. And I don't know how that could possibly be connected. But it seems like it's happening. I think because my brain is telling me to make sounds like, and it kind of fades my voice out every time. Got a lot of pine needle tea, which we're going to be drinking to try and raise our health stat, which is probably in the tank. I could debug it. Well, we're not going to do that. I was going to say we could debug and take a look at what it is, just to verify if it's a vitamin deficiency or if it's a health problem. But that's cheating. So let's not do that unless we start running into issues where it doesn't make sense. For now, I think that's going to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed. I don't think I really talked about what I wanted to talk about. I think I got off track with card game stuff. So sorry about that. In fact, I think, you know what? Kind of feeling like I'm going to go play Slay the Spire instead of playing more Cataclysm. That's okay. I have a backlog. It's not like I'm, putting Cataclysm on the back burner or anything. But anyway, that's going to do it. So for now, thank you for watching. Hope you've been enjoying the series. I certainly love Cataclysm and I love playing it. If you did, maybe consider liking, commenting, or subscribing if you haven't already. All those things really help me out, help make my channel just a little bit bigger than it used to be. And I'll be back with more Cataclysm in the near future. For now, that's it. So I'll see you next time.